Hi, everyone. Welcome. It's Hannah and Brianna, and we are here for Mindful Medicine today. We are diving into podcast episode 3 and really just wanted to give you all a little background on our past life experience and what brought us here today to Mindful Medicine. But before we kick off, we'd like to start every podcast episode, every one of our coaching or witchy experiences with some grounding breaths, and just so that we can really arrive here in the moment and release any stress from earlier in the day. So if you're up for it, I'll invite you to get settled in your seat if you're sitting down, to relax your shoulders and soften your gaze or close your eyes. To soften that jaw and your forehead, any of those micro muscles in your face. And just tap into your breath, noticing it at first, maybe for the first time today. Taking a nice big inhale through your nose, letting your belly rise, holding for a moment at the top, and taking a nice, long, deep exhale out whenever it feels right. If it's helpful for you, you can put one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly. Taking another deep breath in, holding for a moment or two, and a deep exhale out. One more deep breath in, holding, and taking a long exhale out. You can slowly begin to wiggle your fingers and toes, maybe even rubbing your hands together to generate some energy and return to the present. Hopefully, even just feeling slightly more grounded as we enter into today's chat. Hi, Brianna.
Hello. That was very nice. I definitely needed that. Little
Yeah.
release was
How do deep breaths feel being so pregnant right now?
difficult. I'm like trying to like fill the chest and belly, and it's like there's not a lot of space for that air to go.
Yeah, yeah. But I'm sure you need the grounding more than anything right now.
Yeah, it's definitely we're at the home stretch. We're there. Like we're
Yes.
getting there. But
Can you share again how far along you are?
I am I will be 32 weeks and 2 days. So
Woo!
we're almost there.
Almost there.
Yeah, he's getting big. And I'm ready for
Yeah.
him to be evicted because I can't breathe.
Well, it's so fun to kind of like appreciate where we are and how far we've come today, but it's hard to do that without kind of thinking back and really getting a sense of where we came from. And I don't think everyone knows our backstory. Brianna and I are both nurses, and we actually met after years working in the hospital system, and then eventually went through nurse coach training and met in our business mentorship. Um, which is wild. How many years ago was that
Oh my
now?
God.
Oh,
At least three
three,
or four?
yeah, 3 or 4 years ago. And so
Wow.
we've stayed really tight since, but we both share. And I think the one of the reasons we like bonded so quickly was because of that, ooh, dare I say, trauma bond background.
Pretty accurate.
Yeah, let's get into it. Let's be real
Oh
here.
my God.
So tell me about, I guess, what brought you into what drew you to nursing to begin with. Tell me a little bit about your nursing school experience and maybe like some of your first jobs and how you navigated all of those crazy ups and downs.
Yeah. Um, so I know a lot of nurses, or at least nurses that I know, are like, oh, it was my calling. Like, I knew since I was little I wanted to be a nurse. And I just like, this was it, whatever. That was not me.
Same.
Honestly, like the story, yeah, like the story of me choosing nursing is so like boring. Like, I wanted to go into psychology. Like I was,
Same.
yes.
I don't think I knew that about you. Oh,
Yeah.
that's so funny and true to why we ended up where we are.
Yeah. So I was a psychology major and like freshman year of college, and I like had my little like freshman major like little meetup where you meet all the professors, whatever. And I went up to like the dean of the psychology program and was like, realistically, how much schooling do I need in this profession to like get like a decent job? And he was like, probably a PhD. And I was like, no, I'm out.
I did not know this about you. That is so
Yeah,
funny. That is like what was calling to me as well. And my parents said the exact same thing. They were like, you're gonna need too much school to like get a decent job, make decent money. Like you're
yeah,
just gonna, I mean, and I friggin' ended up going back to school anyways and you go basically in a route of coaching, which is like therapy and psychology related. But
yeah. It's
wow, we're discovering this
yeah,
about each
that's so
other.
cool. Yeah, so I was like, oh crap. I was like, okay, I got to switch gears.
Yeah.
So I remember I was sitting in like the back of one of my like gen ed classes and was scrolling through like my college's like majors, and like I kept looking at the nursing program. And I was like, and like at the time I was dating, well, he's my husband now, but like my boyfriend at the time. And I was like, I know that we're like planning on getting married after we both graduate. And I was like, I just need a job where I can like, I know like I will have a job when I graduate and I'll make decent money. Like that was like my goal.
Yeah.
And I was like, what about nursing? So I like picked nursing like in the back of that class. Like I distinctly remember it. And then
Here we go.
here we are. And then, yeah, so I started my nursing school, technically I think it was my sophomore year. And so I had to like catch up and take summer classes and whatever. And yeah, I met some of my best friends in nursing school. Would
Hmm.
I do it again? No, absolutely not. That was it was the most stressful time of my life.
Yeah.
Um, And I learned really, like, obviously learned so much, but like nursing school is hard. And you want to have that college experience and like go hang out with your friends and do all these fun things. And it's like, no, I can't, I have to study. Like,
Hmm.
that was it. That was it for me. I studied throughout all of college, passed nursing school, passed my boards. And then I was like, oh, my life can finally start. But
Uh,
yeah, it was, I didn't have the same coping skills as I do now. Mindfulness and all of that stuff was not in my realm of thought at the time at
yeah.
all. Like all of these like guided meditations and breathing exercises and all of that. Like I think in nursing school they like touch on those as like coping skills for like dealing with patients and like walking them through taking deep breaths and like think of a happy place and
Like super
whatever.
surface level stuff.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And that was like the extent of like what I knew about mindfulness. And so lots of anxiety, lots of stress. I mean, like I went to a college like in my area. And like if I drive by that area now, like I can like I have a physical reaction to
Yeah.
like just remembering all of the anxiety and stress and like looking back, I didn't even realize like how anxious I was all the time. And like I still like I'm so far removed from that space now, but like I still have that like physical reaction like I'm running out of time. I got to get back to studying. I have a test. Like I can't leave campus. Like if I left campus, I was like freaking out. Like I was like, I
Mm.
have to go back and study. Like I can't be out longer than like a couple hours. Like I have to go back. And so it was just, I still have that like
Visceral
anything that's like,
response. Yeah.
yeah, it was crazy. And
Did
so,
you stay up way too late studying too?
oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Like literally the most unhealthy way to approach the stress of
Yeah,
anxiety. Yeah.
drinking Mountain Dew, like Mountain Dew is like my
Mountain Dew. Okay.
water.
I was alcohol.
Well, we were a non-alcohol campus.
Oh,
Yeah, so we couldn't have any alcohol. So you had to like sneak it if you
wow.
were gonna do that. So Mountain Dew, pizza, and like really crappy Chinese food because that was like right next door to our campus and it was open till like 1 a.m.
Oh my God. Yeah, I'm kind of jealous of the younger generations now that have like access to so much good information about healthy diets and stress hormones and how sleep can really
Yeah.
impact your ability to perform on exams. But oh, we were just really, I feel like yeah, I would personally was trying to have that college experience, and I never like I chose intentionally not to live with nursing students. I wanted to hang out with other people because my nursing class was literally like 25 under 30 people.
Mhm.
So we spent so much time together that I felt like I needed to have these best friends outside of the nursing program, and they're still my best friends. So I'm so grateful for it. But it was also really hard because they were like business majors or majors, and they are like going out late to parties and studying abroad, which was never an option for me, and
Yeah.
doing all these like epic college things. And I was trying to keep up and show up as my perfectionistic nursing self, who like in high school was always like an A student and would try so hard. And so um, I remember when I was going from high school into college, my mom said to me, Hannah, like you need to try less hard and actually have a college experience, basically, right? Like you need to like take reel back the perfectionism a little bit.
Yeah.
And then I got accepted into some sort of scholarship program and academic scholarship program and the nursing program where you like couldn't get lower than a B or something, you'd be booted.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she was like, actually, I guess I take that back. Like you're gonna have to try really hard.
Never
And
mind.
so I was in this in between of like, I want to like care a little bit less and have fun and figure out who I am and keep up with these new friends, while also being surrounded by, 25 women who were very similar to me in that like we knew we had to perform. Otherwise, this dream was not gonna be a reality. And like also we could kill someone if, we didn't
Yeah.
study and gave the wrong dose. And so it's like the duality of I want to not be stressed and not hold on to it as much. And also, I really need to learn my shit because this is like my future, but this is also someone else's life. And like, I don't think our friends that were outside of nursing really grasped the
Yeah.
kind of severity of that and the significance of it when they're peer pressuring you. Ah, come on, just do this or do that. And it's like, dude, no. Like,
Yeah.
I need to learn this. Like, I have to show up. I have to go to clinical tomorrow and I cannot be hungover.
Yeah.
I have a 12-hour shift that's like an hour away in Boston for me at some of the top hospitals. Like, I'm gonna get called out if I
Right.
if I don't show up at
Yeah.
110%.
Yeah. I think that
A
was
lot of
one of
pressure.
it was people didn't understand. And like we're all like college kids, like, whatever. But I mean, I remember like the fear that our nursing professors would like instill in us for like one failing. Like they're like, this is so important. Like our dosage calc test, like
Mhm.
when we took that, if you had two chances. If you didn't make a 100, you had to retake it. If you didn't make 100 on the second one, you had to retake. Actually, you were kicked out. You were kicked out of the nursing program.
No pressure.
And so I like that is so much, and like you're studying for that on top of all your other classes that you're in. And
Hmm.
like yeah, it's just like there's so much pressure and fear not to fail, first of all, but you can't fail. Like if you I think it was like if you made less than like a 78 or something, like you had to like retake the whole thing or something.
Yeah.
Like it was, yeah. And then you
Yeah.
have like other
We've
people
clearly blacked this out of our minds, like because I don't want to remember, like
yeah.
you said, I was having nightmares about being in nursing school for years, and sometimes it even still pops up. Like I'm like wearing black shoes, and I'm supposed to be wearing white with my scrubs. I got
Yeah.
fingernail polish on that's chipped, and I'm out.
Oh my
Like,
gosh, yeah. Like it's just so strict. There's so much fear. And then all of that, like academic wise and like all the policies and things that your school has, and then you have like the fact that like you could kill someone if you don't understand what you're doing. Which, and to be honest, if you're in nursing school right now, um nursing school did not prepare me for real life nursing at all,
no, no.
whatsoever. It literally
We
is
weren't even
so,
allowed to put an IV in.
yeah. So, and I think the rules have actually gotten stricter in nursing school since
Yeah.
probably you and me graduated. But like I look back at my nursing school experience and like the clinicals and all of that, like doing our skills things, like maybe the skills tests was probably like the most beneficial part.
Yeah.
But then again, like you do it like a handful of times, pass the test, and then you don't really do it again. And it's not on a real person, it's on a fake mannequin, like a sim lab mannequin. And
Who's
so
not screaming at you or hitting on you or trying to
yeah, or being, yeah,
yeah.
like it's like doesn't have the perfect human anatomy like on a mannequin. Like, yeah, it I feel like nursing school, at least in my experience, prepared me to pass the NCLEX, and that was it.
Mm.
I think
She
it
said
gave
it. She said it.
yeah, like it gave me like a basic understanding. Obviously, like it built a foundation, but like
It allowed you to get out, I think, if you like really realized.
yeah,
Like, I think one helpful thing was clinicals like really gave you real glimpses into nursing and what they're dealing with. And so then you knew, like, yeah, maybe I might be more interested in this, or I can handle this, or I can't. But you're totally right. And unfortunately, I think that's like most majors and traditional school experiences now. It's like, especially with AI coming.
Yeah.
around the
Yeah.
corner so hot. Like there's only so much knowledge base that you need. It's really that true hands-on experience. And, you know, I had nurses like laugh at me at the beginning in some of my first jobs because I would be approaching something like I was taught to in school or like the books told you, and they're like, "No, girl, we don't got time for that."
Yeah.
Like that's not real life. We don't have the resources. Like this is how you have to make do. And so, and that varies so much by specialty, hospital, institution, but when I reflect back now after going through RN school, and then I went through NP school
Yeah.
on totally, different sides of the country and different experiences, but also both very high stress. I think a big takeaway was that we did not get the foundation that we needed to manage the burnout that like can hit so quickly. Literally, I'm seeing when we've done posts online, I'm seeing young nurses 1, 2 years in who are already like spent and over this whole career. Actually, some of them are even over it, but before they like or like right when they pass the exam, like, all right,
Yeah.
now I need a break because
Yeah.
I'm so exhausted from the stress of nursing school. And so, like, how do we help these students? Because I love nurses so much. I know that we're empaths. We want to heal, we want to help. And it is such an critical and necessary role. I see it as like honestly one of the most important roles in healthcare, right? Like the nurses are the quarterbacks of care. They do literally everything. How do we help these nurses, and what do nursing schools need to do up front so that we can lay a foundation that's more supportive for sustaining in the high stress, high pressures? Like, obviously, we can't fix the whole system overnight, but we can at least give the students skills on how to navigate the stressors so that the weight of it doesn't consume them so quickly. Does
Yeah.
that sound really bleak?
Yeah. And I know it's hard because like you do have to learn all this stuff. Like there's just so much to cram in your brain. And depending on how long your program is, because I went to a 4-year program. I know some
Yeah.
people do a 2-year program, which I
Yeah.
can't even fathom. Like,
Oh my
I
gosh.
don't know.
No.
But you're cramming so much information because you're literally learning every single thing about the body, every single illness or possible thing that can go wrong with the body and how to fix it and how to treat it and how to do all these things, skills and everything else. And there's no, like, it's all about, taking care of other people, which is what nursing is, right? But there's not space currently for any time to focus on yourself becoming a nurse.
Yeah.
It's just this is how you be a nurse, not this is how you take care of yourself as a nurse.
Yeah.
When your floor is short-staffed and you have to work through a global pandemic and you're traumatized. Like, they don't talk about that stuff.
Or learn through a global pandemic, which luckily
Right.
both of us missed. I can't even
Yeah,
imagine
luckily.
that, but you're so right. I think there are definitely skills that I have in place now that I so wish that I had in nursing school, down to just like making healthy choices in the cafeteria. Like,
Yeah.
what's going to sustain me through a 12-hour shift so I don't feel like lightheaded and like I have to faint, like down to basics, just self-care that you're kind of figuring out on your own if you weren't taught that right from your parents.
Yeah.
Um, Down to healthy sleep patterns and hours. And then just like how we even started the session today, using your breath, using the most simple kind of grounding somatic tools that we have access to within our body to help preventively when we're feeling that anxiety come up, um, and also acutely in the moment, whether it be before an exam.
Yeah.
I know we did a whole meditation about grounding before an exam or a clinical because that for me was overwhelming. I could never get it all done on time. I've always felt so rushed. And so I felt anxious even walking up to the testing room.
Hmm.
Um, about dealing with tough clinical instructors, right? Sometimes there was that unicorn instructor who did an amazing job of helping to support you, but I feel like the majority of them are burnt out themselves. I can totally understand it. And they're dealing with the pressure of some staff who don't want them there. You're kind of just in the way and slowing them down. And so, like, I totally understand why they can be rough around the edges, but like, yeah, I had a lot of fear around certain clinical instructors. Like, are they going to snap at me? Am I going to get in trouble? Am I going to pass this? Or are they going to make me retake it? I think we did a meditation on that too, dealing with
Yeah, how to deal with the, I don't even remember, some like how to deal with your clinical instructor.
yeah.
I have a lot of traumatic stories that I could tell. We don't have enough time for that, but like I definitely experienced a fair share of clinical instructors and professors that you could tell were so burnt out and we're taking it out on the
Mm.
students.
Yeah, it makes me so
Like, oh my
sad.
gosh, yeah, I could. I mean, those are the memories that me and my friends are like, remember when so and so did this? Oh my God, I can't believe like, yeah, that
Yeah,
was traumatizing.
right? And we talked about, how to breathe when you are dealing with stressful situations on the floor and you're trying to drop medications. Like a lot of these tools help you not just show up as the best nurse, but like make your patient's lives safer because you're coming from a more grounded, less dysregulated state. Like I remember working my first job on an inpatient pediatric psych floor, and like multiple times a shift, there would be some crazy assault going on and then a restraint, and then you'd have to run back to the med room and draw up meds, break these ampules where it's like, why do they still make ampules?
Hmm.
Um, like drawing up glass bits into the syringes, but like d being able to regulate yourself. I know I see when I learned to do that, that all of the nurses and like patients around me equally calmed. And like we could all come from a more grounded state. But when you're bringing that energy to the classroom as a nursing student, to the unit as a nurse, like it is there's without a doubt it impacts and spreads like wildfire. And so learning these skills is so helpful and imperative for everyone around you as well.
Yeah. And I think, unfortunately, at this point in time, until a bigger systemic change is put into effect in hospitals and nursing schools and everything else, like that is going to be your sole responsibility
Mm.
to manage that for yourself and take the initiative and practice regulating your nervous system, especially in stressful situations like that, after stressful situations. Um, and I think with nursing specifically, stress and anxiety are tools that can be, I mean, obviously, like your patient is coding, you're not going to remain calm. I mean, you could like remain calm, but like you have a
You're
responsibility
gonna
to
feel it.
save this person's
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
Like that if you didn't have some sort of stress and anxiety about that, I think that would be maybe like an issue. But it's a
Yeah,
it's a
100%.
tool to use for urgency and like to get your brain going and like, okay, got to think about all these things all at once, like fast, 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 adrenaline going because you're literally like saving someone's life or like there's something going on that needs to be addressed like immediately. Like stress and anxiety can't is a tool as nurses to get stuff done and to
Yeah.
save people's lives. But having stress and anxiety 24/7 or holding on to that lingering stress and anxiety after the fact is what causes the bigger problem. And so in nursing school, you have this stress and anxiety coming up before a test or before you go to clinicals. Then you do the tests and you do the clinical, and then you're back. And at least for me, I'm already jumping to, well, now I have to stress about this. Well, now I have to have
Mm,
anxiety about Tuesday when I have clinicals again. And it's a cycle. And so breaking the stress anxiety cycle and like having breaks where you're taking that initiative and regulating your nervous system, getting enough sleep, taking some deep breaths, taking 15 minutes out of your studying to just like meditate and like clear your mind for a second. I mean, it seems so simple and so small of a thing. And I feel like if someone told me to do that in nursing school, I would just be like, okay, sure.
yeah. I can't add anything else,
Yeah.
right? That would have
But
been my response.
yeah. But like I said, until a bigger systemic change is incorporated into nursing schools and hospitals, I think it's just going to be the sole individual's responsibility to do these things. And so that's why resources are so important, especially for
Hmm.
these nursing students. And that's why we created all these meditations. Literally, you don't have to think. All you have to do is listen. Just sit and listen. None of them are very long, but if you have to like take 5, 15 minutes just to breathe and like listen to one of these meditations, I mean, that makes a big difference, especially when you stack it over time and you keep practicing these things. So like I think like one of our meditations for like I think it was the test and clinical anxiety one. Like you could
Hmm.
literally listen to this in the car, like driving to your clinical. Like you're not doing anything else except maybe worrying about what's going to happen in the next 20 minutes.
Mm, yeah.
So like utilize that time, like regulate your nervous system, take some deep breaths, listen to this guided meditation. And it doesn't have to be our meditations. You can listen to calming music, just something that is,
Walk on the grass, get fresh
yeah,
air. Like we've
yeah.
talked about our toolkit just in our pregnancy and motherhood kind of podcast, but that's everybody, like you said, has a phone with them, carries it around, usually has a note section. Put what feels grounding and rejuvenating and refueling to you in there. It's gonna look different for everybody. I know, Brianna, you said like reading is really like relaxing for you, crafting. For me, like absolutely, like I feel like I have to touch the earth every day that it's warm enough to bare feet, like just watch the sunset. It doesn't have to be this big, grand, expensive thing.
Mhm.
The meditations are amazing, but we want you to have like a whole spectrum of tools that you can go to when you're feeling overwhelmed or you just have a moment to really treat yourself, because that's what we need to do so that we don't get to that point of being the most cranky, burnt out nurse that takes it out on everybody else. But the
Yeah,
goal is not to be that person and not to
yeah,
have to recover from it. Like I think you and I both never got to that point. We haven't let
right.
ourselves, but it has taken a lot of conscious, intentional work to show up for myself so that I can show up for the younger nurses and be the best mentor that I can be. And, you know, show them that self-care is so important. Like I am always, whenever I've been charged or the NP on the unit, the one that shows everybody I'm going to take my break because obviously there are times where it's not possible, but whenever there is even a hint of possibility, I'm going to take my break and refuel because it is so important for me too, so that I can show up as my best self for everyone else the rest of the, 11 and a half hours, this shift, even sometimes longer. And then it gives everyone else permission to say, oh, that's normal. But I
Mhm.
hate when you go into a place and they just instantly are like, oh, no one takes breaks here. Like they're like, at their desk typing notes, eating. Like we're not doing anything 100% when we're multitasking. And so mindfulness is all about like, how can you just monotask, do one thing at a time? You're going to show up better and get it done faster and more accurately. Like,
Yeah. Well,
that's mindfulness.
yeah. And I think too, like what you said, like when you show up and you are doing those things for yourself, especially if you are in a leadership, but even if you're a new grad nurse, if people see you, taking care of yourself, prioritizing yourself, and the way that you are, your way of being as a
Mm,
calmer, less anxious person, because, we've all been around someone, whether it's just in your friends, family, whatever, who has high anxiety and is always just constantly like that energy is like buzzing, but it's also
radiating. Yeah.
contagious.
Yeah.
And so and I think like on those floors where that is the standard because that's the environment that they've created. And, it starts with one person and then it goes to the next person. And when you're spending 12 hours a day with these high anxiety people, it makes you anxious.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I
Yeah.
have to hurry, I have to rush, I have to do all these things, I don't have time to eat, blah, 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 blah. And it's when you are taking a step back from that and you're like, no, I'm going to prioritize my well-being so I can better take care of these patients. And, you know, I'm going to take a 5-minute break to just like, whatever, take some deep breaths. I'm going to go in the med room for like a few minutes and just sit there and like clear my head.
Increase that. Yeah.
Yeah, like that is setting an example. Like people see that. And like when you're showing up like that, people want that. I mean, people want to be calm and not stressed. I would
Mhm.
assume most people want to be like that. Especially like when you're on a busy floor like that. Like if you see someone who is just like vibing and chilling, not stressed, it's like, how do they do that? I want to be like that.
Mhm. Give me
And
some of
so,
that.
yeah. And so, like,
Yeah.
you're setting an example, and you can do that as a brand new nurse. Like, you don't have to be in a role of leadership to, set an example for other people.
Yeah.
And you have that potential to change that environment on the floor. And I think that's how, unfortunately, the systemic change that's going to happen is going to come from nurses deciding that, no, I'm not going to give in to this
Yeah.
environment and this, I don't know, this like nurses have to be stressed out and like burnt out and forego everything, like not pee for 11 hours, not eat
Yeah.
for the whole entire shift. Like it's gonna start with people going against the norm
Mm,
and setting that
yes.
example. Yeah.
Yes. It's good for the patients to see too. Like
Yeah.
I know like when I say I can help you with that after I get back from my break, they're like, good. Like I want you to be able to eat. They
Yeah.
care. about their healthcare workers showing up like fueled, and they also see, oh, I should be doing this for myself. I should eat my lunch and take care of myself too.
Yeah.
Um, and you're talking about that energy, that like buzz, which sometimes is inevitable when you're coming off of a super
Right.
high energy, high stress shift. And one thing that we have been intentional about is creating resources. So we've got our nursing student collection and then our healthcare worker collection, because this isn't just specific to nurses. We know that everybody who's working on that floor, every single person is getting impacted by that energy. And so this is for you if you're a healthcare worker, no matter what the role. Um, but that we have also resources for you to listen to come down and to like release and not hold on to that energy, to know that it is not yours, to carry for the rest of the day. That is something I really struggled with in my early nursing years, is like bringing that home and then snapping at the people around me
Mhm.
because I just had nothing left in the tank,
Yeah.
and they didn't understand because they didn't deal with it. And how dare they ask me to do something else when like you were literally just getting pinged all day long. Um, it's our responsibility once we walk out the doors of the shift to come down from that, to release it. Of course, we can't always release it all, and thoughts are going to come into our mind, but it is possible, like for us to do something as simple as those 3 breaths that we did together. We have like a 5-minute end of shift meditation you can listen to on your walk or your drive or your bus ride home, however you get to work. We want to help you to feel your best, not just to navigate work or school, but also to prevent you from having the like conflict or negative energy that is brought into, whatever space you live in, whether it's alone or with friends or family. We know how that goes. I'm sure you can relate to that too.
Yeah. And you
It's
know,
not fair to them.
yeah, it's not. And I wish that we had had these, or I mean, I think we're coming from the same experience that we didn't have these tools when we were going through all of this.
Yeah.
Um, I think it would have helped significantly managing stress, managing the anxiety, and we could go into all the issues that it caused. Like, it doesn't just affect you, it affects everyone around you. It affects your health. Um, I mean, it's really detrimental. Um, and unfortunately, at least for me, I didn't know how to cope with that healthy. I
Yeah.
coped with it, just not in a healthy way, which was not helpful. And yeah, I mean, it got me to a very unhealthy place in my life. But I mean,
Which I think for both of us pushed us into nurse coaching.
yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, which will be a whole different episode, but we both hit that point. We're like, something's got to give.
yeah. But I mean, not everyone needs to quit their job. And like, if you want to be a nurse, if you want to do this, like, there has to be another pathway other than working for 5, 10 years and you're just completely burnt out and unhappy.
Yeah.
Like, we need nurses. We need nurses to work in hospitals. Um, and and I think in order to do that, because there's a nursing shortage, there's not a nursing shortage, is people are leaving the bedside because it's non-sustainable
Yeah.
for long term, the way that it is right now. And practicing mindfulness, taking care of yourself, prioritizing yourself, like it has to be like number one on your list as a nurse. Take care of yourself, and then you can take care of everyone else. and that's not taught. But we're trying to put that message out there
Yeah.
slowly. So we have these meditations, we've made all these resources, and hopefully eventually change will happen. Um, yeah, but I mean, we could go into that whole thing with the healthcare system and everything else, but we don't have 5 hours to talk about that.
Yeah, yeah, at minimum. But we'd love to hear your experience. We know that nursing school has, changed since we've both been through it, and P school has changed. And we're curious, have you received any kind of um, time in the classroom that gives you this foundation? Are there things that you feel you could use more of as you're navigating nursing school and early years on the floor, or even as an experienced healthcare worker? Let us know in the comments because we are building this library for you. And we want it to be super supportive of all of the different facets that we know that you experienced throughout nursing school and then the transition into working as a healthcare worker.
Yeah. And I think the big takeaway from this is yes, nursing school is hard. Yes, nursing can be hard and stressful, but there are ways to counterbalance that.
Hmm.
And it doesn't have to be, your experience doesn't have to be our experience where
Mm.
we completely burnt out to nothing because we didn't have these resources. We didn't practice what we're practicing now. So that's the key lesson is be a nurse. Do the things you want to do. Just learn from our mistakes and our experience and take care of yourself and prioritize yourself. And that will set you up for success in the future.
Yeah. And even just the small mindset shift that is needed that I deserve this and I deserve to fill my cup first. It sounds cliche, but it is what is going to make the difference for you. And when you accept that and lean into it, you become that light, that beacon that gives everyone else permission around you to follow. And there's magic in that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wish I heard this talk when I was in nursing school.
Well, next time around, we'll talk more about kind of our early days as nurse coaches and kind of what that looked like, if it's something that you're curious about, and what kind of caused us to dive even deeper into this whole healing, transformation journey, holistic everything. But I think we've covered a lot today, and we can't wait to hear from you. Brianna, would you lead us in a little bit of grounding wrap up?
Yeah,
Wrap? Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, so big energy today.
Yeah.
Lots of stress and anxiety talk, but go ahead and relax. Relax back into your seat. If you've tensed up listening to this, thinking about all of the stressful experiences you've had as a nurse or a nursing student, just release that tension from your body. Release your tension from your shoulders, your neck, your jaw, if you're clenching your jaw or scrunching up your forehead. Go ahead and release that. And just start to notice your breathing and start to deepen your breath. And just keep releasing any tension that you might not have noticed at first. Just taking just some deeper breaths than normal. And feel that tension slowly easing away. We're inviting calm, relaxation into our bubble, releasing stress and anxiety and tension. Go ahead and take a deep breath in through your nose. Hold it at the top for just a second. And then a long exhale out through your mouth. And again, deep inhale through your nose. Fill up your chest and your belly. Hold it at the top. And a deep exhale. And we'll do one more. This is the deepest breath you've taken all day. Deep, deep inhale in. Hold it at the top. And then sigh it out. The biggest sigh, just let it all out. All right, you can open your eyes, come back to the present moment. Thank you so much for joining us today. I hope that we were able to give you some good resources, some good thoughts to think about. If you're in nursing school or starting your nursing career. Um, but have a good rest of your day. We are excited to join you next time when we talk about our nurse coach experience and our experience going into nurse entrepreneurship. So join us for our next episode if you're interested in that, and we will talk to you soon.
Thank you,
Bye.
everyone.